Coming up on Recollect Records here in Denver. Favorite shop of mine, in Denver at least. Hey everybody in the vinyl community, this is Tim with the University of Vinyl, back today with another video. This is going to be focused on a couple quick record shopping trips that I partook in very recently. Over the weekend I was in Denver and had a chance to visit one of my favorite shops. It's called Recollect Records. Recollect Records is in the Golden Triangle district of Denver, so it's right downtown, very near the Capitol State Building and the Denver Museum of Art. Good, how are you? His shop is very nice. So it's very well organized. He has a really nice kind of design aesthetic going, clean, and I always find some good things there. I get there every month or two, and he's also known for, he specializes in soul and funk, and has a huge hip-hop collection, but a fair amount of classic rock, 80s, new age, not new age, post-punk, a little bit of new wave stuff as well. So it was good to get down there, and I was able to pick up a few things that I'll show you now. So Recollect Records is also one of the great things I like about that shop is I think he's very, very fairly priced. I've checked a few things that I pulled out of there and, you know, walk out and compare it to Discogs, and he's actually under the median for most things on Discogs, and sometimes quite low. I got a couple months ago, I got Van Halen 2 and Women and Children First. They were both, I think, $8 each, so great deal. And he cares about condition. I think he cleans all of his vinyl that he takes in, and everything is presented well, like I mentioned earlier. And you know, it's a good experience. So the first thing I picked up over the weekend was this album. And that is Rockpile, Seconds of Pleasure. This is a great band, and I don't know their entire discography. They may have only put out one official release. This could be it. I'll have to look it up. But of course, you know, the two main guys, Dave Edmunds and Nick Lowe. The cool thing about this particular issue, they've got their 1980 tour schedule on the back, which is kind of cool. This vinyl is in great shape. Nice gatefold package, great photography. Nick Lowe has not gone gray yet. He's got a little bit coming in, but looking forward to giving this a spin. Haven't heard it yet. This was $6.99, so great deal. I was really excited to find this. So this is the Half Speed Mastered. This is this label. Who is this? Master Sound. CBS Master Sound audiophile pressing. Right up my alley, right? Half Speed Mastered extended range recording. And this is Imperial Bedroom. Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Elvis Costello toured this album. He was playing this album in its entirety 4 or 5 years ago. I saw him at the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Great venue if you ever get a chance to see anybody there. I saw Joe Jackson there as well, which was also good. Anyway, I just gave this a listen earlier today, and I'm really impressed with this. You know, the CBS Master Sound can be hit or miss. I've got a Willie Nelson album that's also the same label, and it didn't really blow my hair back as far as the sound quality. I didn't think it was anything special compared to the original pressing, which I also have. But this, I actually did pick up a little more detail, a little more clarity. I've got an original press, US press of this as well. I actually think this is the winner. I'm going to keep them both, but the other cool thing I liked about this, it doesn't look like it's been played, and there's that label. They actually have a half-speed mastered on the label. 15 bucks. I thought that was very fair. I went on Discogs, and they're going for anywhere between $20 and $30 depending on condition, a little bit higher. There's always an outlier on Discogs, right? There's someone selling it for like $80. That might have been sealed, I can't remember. Happy to find this. This was a plus. So this is Supertramp's 1985 release, Brother Where You Bound. Yeah, that's the name. Good news. This was a $3. This was in his $3 record bin or room. Bad news. It's just as mediocre as I remember it being on CD. You know, Brother Where You Bound is a good song. Cannonball is a good song, but there's actually only 6 songs on this album, and of course half of Supertramp is not on it. I think Roger Hodgkin had left at that point in time. So I don't know. I gave it another listen, and it's not doing anything for me. It's going to be traded in for some store credit somewhere in the very near future. This, of course, is Go to Heaven, the Grateful Dead, 1980 release. First album that had Brent Midland in the band. I saw the Dead twice, you know, the original Grateful Dead with Jerry, and that was in 1990 and 1991. And they were good shows. They were in Chicago's Soldier Field. I do remember a crazy parking lot situation and too many people, but the music was actually quite good. I enjoyed both of those shows. I think Traffic had reunited Jim Capaldi and Steve Winwood had buried the hatchet at that point in time, and they may have actually put out a Traffic album. I think they did. Anyway, they opened, and then the other year, I think it was Steve Miller Band. But hey, was very happy to find this. This was $15. Cover is got a little bit of wear on it. The record, it plays great, and it's VG plus, I would say. 15 bucks, really happy. This album actually had quite a few good songs. I love Althea, Feel Like a Stranger, Alabama Getaway, Don't Ease Me In, Saint of Circumstance. So a lot of people, your deadheads may kind of poo-poo this album a little bit, but I think it's a real sleeper in their catalog, and I didn't have it on vinyl, and was happy to find this. So I live just outside of Fort Collins, Colorado, and I'm somewhat blessed because Fort Collins, it's a college town, and there are currently, let me think, 2 dedicated used vinyl stores, and then there's a vintage shop, and there's probably about half a dozen antique malls that are within a 10-minute drive from each other. So I have plenty of opportunities to dig when I can, and the shop that I checked out recently is called Little Pine Vintage. and they opened in Fort Collins probably about 3 years ago. They're in kind of a cool old garage right in the old town. And they also have their original location is down in Louisville, so kind of just east of Boulder, if you know that area. And he has a lot more vinyl down there. I've actually driven by there a couple times and checked that shop out. But this was actually a pretty good little session. I was there for 15-20 minutes. Volunteers, 1969, Jefferson Airplane. This is probably almost my favorite album. I just find that the songs have got a lot of weight, a lot of emotion. I kind of love Marty Balin and Grace Slick, the interplay that they have on this album. You know, that lead-off track, We Can Be Together, is fantastic. It brings you right back to that time period in San Francisco and the Bay Area. This pressing is actually a mid-80s reissue, and I just played it a half an hour ago, and it plays fine. Vinyl's actually near mint, and I was quite pleased with this. So I've had this on CD for a long time, and was thinking about trying to go for the MoFi. It's not available, you know, it's expensive. And kind of stumbled upon this today and pulled the trigger on it, and this is fine. You know, it sounds good, and I'm happy with it. Another pickup at Little Pine Vintage is Crown of Creation. This is a 1968 Jefferson Airplane album, the album that came out just before Volunteers 1 year earlier. And I have never owned this. I've actually never listened to much of it on Spotify either, but this was sealed and it was only $15. I suspect it's also an 80s repress. And sealed albums, it's always a crapshoot. You don't know if there's going to be, you know, these things have been, who knows where they've been stored, how they've been stored, so you can actually get some hints by checking it out. This actually looks really clean. I don't see any water damage, no warping. Of course, the shrink is still intact. It is sealed. So I'm going to take a flyer on it, and I'm looking forward to listening to this. But yeah, this is Crown of Creation, Jefferson Airplane. So the last thing I picked up at Little Pine Vintage is the Water Boys, This Is the Sea. This is a 1985 release, and it's on the original, it's on Island. Vinyl is in great condition. This was $11. Of course, you know, Water Boys, that was Mike Scott. Carl Wallinger, who went on to form World Party, is on this album as well. I'm really only familiar with The Hole of the Moon, second track on side one. So kind of looking forward to, you know, reacquainting myself with this music. I've heard this years ago, but I do remember it being quite good, and I have heard The Hole of the Moon a couple times recently. I don't know if they were in films or what, but kind of piqued my interest again in the Water Boys. Realized I didn't have anything by them, and as luck would have it, it popped up popped up during this shop visit. That's it for today. So a little bit of vinyl digging, a little bit different, mixed it up. Hopefully you enjoy some of that footage I took. I always feel a little self-conscious when I'm in a record shop and I'm holding up my iPhone. So I kind of do it furtively here and there. It is what it is, and you gotta do what you gotta do. Hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you next time on the next video. Take care.